forevermore. No more fighting, no more wars, no more attack, no more bloodshed. We celebrate one God. God is love, we've all been told, each in our different ways. We proclaim love and an end to war, forevermore at peace.
So welcome everyone, and we're listening to The Peaceful Planet, one of the first songs to be brought in by James, or actually Bob Murray and James Murray. We're writing with John Lennon. It seems like almost 20 years ago now, wasn't it, James? And so
yeah, quite a few years. It's been more than 10 years, and that's been that we published that, and
yeah, and he has the Star Still Shine website, and that's with 2 S's, and it's really fantastic work. And if you haven't read his books, it's all about what really goes on in heaven, and it's a wonderful description of what Lady Diana's doing, Mother Teresa, the children at the orphanage, and John Lennon and the Half Beats, and this is their music. So we're really grateful to James for all this work. And then I wrote the book, Notes from John, and you all probably have it, but for those of you that are new to my work, I'm going to show the cover. And of course, I don't know if I gave my name, but it's Marcia McMahon, and we're talking with James Murray. And this is the book that came out of maybe 15 years or more of working mediumship between Bob Murray, James Murray, and I, and John Lennon and George Harrison. So it's a fun read, and it's much more lighthearted than reading about Diana's diplomatic solutions for the Middle East. But we're going to hear both today. And John has an update for the new song that came out, probably the last of the Beatles song. And I'm going to mute the music now. So it's great to see you all again. And if you wish to mute during the messages, that would probably be more helpful, so that we can get a clearer reading. And then we're going to bring forth a number of masters today who are speaking: John Lennon, JFK, and Princess Diana, Mother Mary, and anyone else that decides to come in, because we have a couple gifted mediums with us today. James Murray is one, and also William Obenauer, who's an artist and medium, and he was reading for me prior to the show. So also we're going to do Reiki for those of you that are needing healing of any kind, and just send out our divine love and divine wishes for the entire world. And so let's call the angels in first. And the heavenly host, Elohim, Archangel Michael, Archangel Raphael, Mother Mary, Lady Diana, Mother Teresa, Little Flower, amazing John Lennon and George Harrison, and any of the other masters. Of course, John Kennedy is going to be speaking. So we ask all of the master guides to clarify our auric fields and heal and clean us, and make us pure, so that we can be of service to the light today. And let us stand in this grand soul reunion. For you people here are the light workers of the world, and you are sending out light to the entire world in the season of light, in the season of Jesus and Mary, and the remembrance of the sacred event that happened so many thousands of years ago. But yet we know also that that we are all made of light, that same light, and we can still send out the Christ consciousness to this very troubled world at this time. And all of the masters have their very solutions to the problems we are facing right now, each of them different. And so, I just ask you to listen carefully and think with your own mind. Don't take anything at face value, And, use your own discernment with what you're hearing. This is not a political message at all. It is simply messages of returning the earth to wholeness. And some of the Lady Diana is very complex. So we don't know how far we'll get because I have about 20 pages, but I won't delay. And I'm very honored to first bring forth John Lennon. And he gave me a message a while back on the new song that came out in November called Then and or Now and Then. And that was an original song that John had written before he passed. And I guess hadn't been worked on, and probably they had to do a lot of internal copyright issues working out the with Yoko and with Harrison's legacy and all of that to bring all of those Beatle cuts into the new song and created it as a tribute. If you could mute Siobhan, it's showing you, and I want it to highlight me. I don't know how to highlight me, but just so the people that are watching on the YouTube can hear what I'm saying and not get the feedback in the background. So if you would just kindly mute, good to have you though. And so without further ado, I'll start with the message on Now and Then. And I can't play Now and Then because I don't know if it's under copyright or not. But I'm glad to see that all of the Fab Four are finally getting together once more. And actually, John really liked the whole thing. So I'm listening and I'm here, John, if you have any comments on Then and Now. And he says, and then, hello, Google. I know it's true because of all of you. He was rhyming something, I don't know. And then it typed itself. So when it types itself, James and I know that the spirits are actually typing through. The voice is coming through. So I said, I'm listening. Marcia, John, what did you think of the song rendition Now and Then, like from 50 years ago or so, with you and George and the last songs and the AI imaging and, the Sergeant Peppers and all that in the new release? And John says, oh yeah, well done. And bravo to both Paul and Ringo and George. And George and I are here rehearsing and playing it for the other boys in the band on this side. And that we do play along with other band members now, including David Bowie and others. We want to thank Paul and Ringo and reach across the veil and let them know that we were actually in the studio while they were creating the AI imagery of myself and George. And we were physically present. And as a side note, this is not John speaking, but I read somewhere where Paul said he felt John's presence in the studio when he was producing this song. So going on then, we do play together as the Half Beats now, and you can read it all about it in Marcia's book, Notes from John, Messages from Across the Universe, where we presented over 30 of the songs that were created by James and Bob Murray. And we probably got 60 or 70 songs as the Half Beats with James Murray on his side. So yeah, I want to thank Paul and Ringo from the bottom of my heart for remembering us, and John Lennon and George Harrison, and to say, we'll one day look around to see you all playing up here in the heavenly way. But please stay on the earth as long as you can. Enjoy the moments of your lives as your creative production of music. We don't have many producers over here, so all we do is play for the children's gigs and the bars, the club at night over here in the little town. I do want to comment on the terrible war going on between Israel and the Palestinians. It seems like your work with Diana was heard at the top levels, but they received the channeling and they thought about it. It seems as if none of the presidents has been able to influence Netanyahu, who is a warlike person, and come around to the idea of the Palestinian state. I'd like to say here, enough of this dropping bombs on children's heads. I grew up with bombs on my head, and I can tell you what an awful thing it is to live with that. And now they've got a total prison for the Palestinians. Don't get me wrong, I'm not anti-Jewish at all. I love everyone. It's not about love, it's about getting rid of hatred and war. It's about sending love. I'm just wondering when the world will wake up to that fact. And these synthetic wars where the bombs are dropped without really knowing who you're killing are worse than ever because it leaves the person that did that deed with a guilty conscience. Yet they have no idea how many kids they just bombed in the name of God. For Christ's sake, stop it already. Get the hell out of Palestine, and Hamas group, get it demilitarized in another way. The world has to wake up to the fact that the military industrial complex is in each and every country. And these are the people that are running the show, not really the presidents and not really the statesmen. It's the deep military state. And I, for one, am against it. The people need to protect against military states and against the money that is being spent on them, on the war. And I'm pro-democracy. I don't want to see a terrorist takeover, but help America to, America's funding so much military aid to the Middle East right now, particularly to Israel. And we call upon everyone to pray, to meditate, to march for peace, go out and demonstrate if you feel like it, if you feel the need against war in general. And I'm sending all my loving on to you, my fans, and thank you for listening to my voice once again on the YouTube and the artificial intelligence. Listen now and then to the song and remember me. And he'd particularly like you to remember the songs that he created in my life. And you all remember that one. I'm here to tell you that the afterlife is real, and I'm not artificial on this side. I can feel the body. I can play the guitar, just like we had on Earth. I'm looking forward to do more messages with Miss Marcia, who seems like she's forgotten that I exist. Sorry about that, John. John, that's okay, love. Get back to us when you can, and take good care, everyone. Remember peace, remember love. This is John Lennon coming to you from the YouTube and from the Spirit Plane with Marcia. So that was a nice message I hadn't heard from John. I'm loving that you love your cat. We're getting a full video of you, so you're going to be on YouTube, Siobhan, with your cat. It's not working right today. I'm speaking. I should be the one, but that's so cute. Or that's a dog. I'm sorry. Missed that. Okay. That's funny. I forget what the dog is named. Now I had another message from John, and then we'll go on to some others from JFK and Diana. So, hello, John. I've been seeing apports around my house, just pictures laying up and turning around and turn it up and music coming on, some of your old favorites. And I've wondered if you've had a Christmas message or a message of comfort on this side for the tragic day of your remembrance. Now, this was channeled in December the 8th, which is the day that John was shot. So I posted your song Imagine onto Facebook, and I know that you commented on the wonderful new release that Paul and Ringo created with Now and Then. And I really like the way you commented on that. John, yes, love. We've been meaning and trying to get your attention for some time. Meeting somebody here with some time. And we like to go on air with Amanda's show soon. And we'd like it if you could help some of the time with the show, or maybe air a monthly show and give her a day off if she feels like she wants to do that and you want to do a little bit of hosting. I do think you were an excellent show host. I think that things would work out for the show. I do see you getting out and about in the new year with more conferences. You just have to keep at it and keep networking until you find the right outlet that welcomes your fine channeling and peace work, love. And do not be discouraged at this time of year. And he's speaking generally to everyone here. I know everyone tends to get a little down because of the holidays. They aren't the same. And I don't know if we're all remembering our childhood holidays and thinking of our loved ones that have passed. Of course, when you think of that song I wrote in my life, then you can think of me. And that probably speaks to the heart of everyone here. I'd be happy if everyone would just think of me now and then, no pun intended, of course, to do something for other people and remember me with that in mind. Do something for peace for the world. Go out and demonstrate if you feel so inclined, or write a congressman, or hold politicians more accountable for their actions. I know these days it's very hard to get anything accomplished with this Congress that you're in. We love you and miss you all. There's so many tributes going around today to your memory. John, do you have anything to say to your fans? Well, as I said before many times, I'm in spirit, not in form. Just I was looking very much in the physical, much the same as I do now. And I'm writing songs for love and peace from the heavenly side and thinking about all the good times that I had as a young Beatle and my fans earlier in the Beatles. And then in the middle years with the trip out and the psychedelics and the marijuana, and then settling into our various marriages and homes. I had a really good life, but it was taken from me. No one should have to go through that experience. In the new earth, we feel like there will be no crime and it will be almost unknown. So anyone that's worked as hard for peace as you have, Marcia, my dear, deserves to be in the new earth, deserves nothing but love. But all that goes for all in the new earth and all humanity. We're looking down into what's going on in these wars in the Middle East and the Ukraine and some of these evil dictators that are causing all of this suffering. And just know and hope that things are going to turn around. And they may look like even they're turning for the worst. But from our standpoint, we do see that the earth has chosen the light and the people want the love and the light. So power to the people right on. Imagine peace, imagine love. This is John Lennon coming through from a higher dimension, from the realms of light, where I work with George and the Halfbeats and a few other enlightened souls, such as David Bowie and Michael Jackson, and so many others that have gone on too soon. All my loving, John Lennon. So those are Lennon's messages. Now I'm gonna pause a moment, collect my papers. Well, that was only about 10 pages there. And I'm going to work on a portrait of John. I haven't done one in a while. And then I have a few, where did that message go from JFK? Thinking about bringing that through, but I guess I'll leave that for the end. So Diana has a message now, and we'll just call in Diana's sacred energy. So just go into the spirit of Diana now and let her gently touch into your heart as the Queen of Hearts. Good morning, Diana. Calling in the energies of the loving Diana, feminine masters, Mary Magdalene, Mother Mary. Diana, I had been contacting you since yesterday for a message, and I'm so glad you took this last minute opening for the Amanda Show. It's called Messages of Light if you hadn't tuned into her show on Blog Talk. I wish to spend heaven doing some good upon the earth as Princess Diana, and just know that I'm sending out my rose of love to everyone on this call. Just please receive Diana's loving essence for healing and for peace in your heart. And to let everyone know that I work with Mother Mary and Mary Magdalene and other great souls such as John Lennon. I again ask all to pray for peace in the Middle East, that it is indeed a troubled situation that merits everyone's attention. I have long spoken for some 22 years now and reached presidents and diplomats with my messages and wonderful solutions for the crisis that now faces the world. While the Palestinians are waiting in agony for a ceasefire, which is the immediate need, the 2.5 million people, most of whom have lost homes by now, need a long-term solution. I was pointed out the two-state solution. It is my hope and prayer that there will be enough pressure on Congress and your president, particularly to appoint Anthony Blinken and other diplomats behind the scenes with united with the moderate Arab countries such as Jordan, Qatar, and Egypt to forge out a new peace plan. As difficult as this may seem right now, I know all of you are upset about the war in one way or another, and it is not to mitigate the suffering of the Israelis, but both sides don't live equally in peace, and that will be the only solution. One president has even written Marcia to thank her for her work. I encourage her to try to reach this person, as he seems to be reluctant to intervene and vetoed the UN resolution for the ceasefire. Well, that is the essence of this message, and this situation needs to be solved diplomatically. I and Mother Mary, I receive children daily and the mothers in the Palestinian warfare, and they're being received daily in heaven. As well, we receive the Ukrainian people who are suffering terribly in this harsh winter. So as Americans, I wish you to give to your favorite charity and allow me to enter your heart this afternoon as Queen of Hearts. I'm always watching over Earth with careful eye, and I do influence the minds and the hearts of many people around the world, including top diplomats. I'll send all my love in a troubled time, Diana. And now for Mother Mary coming through. Love, Mother Mary. This is your mother, Mother Mary, coming through. And I send you all joy in spite of your hardships, in spite of the hardships you're watching unfold in the horror that is Gaza right now. And my heart is breaking for the people of the Holy Land. Just know that one day there will be a solution and there will be an end to all violence on earth. That is powerful because that's exactly what Lennon said too. And I ask you within each of your heart to make sure that you hold a place for me and do not hold prejudice against Arab people, Jewish people, and do not let the tribal mentality or taking sides in politics overcome your friendships. I see that as a tendency in America right now, and that lower entities are using this tribal mentality to influence people against one another. So be careful of that. There is still a lot of misinformation out there on the internet, and I caution you, do not become tribal, but discern what you're reading with great discernment. Lift your spirits and see all as one. What you can do for your neighbor, and abide my son's Jeshua's teachings of love and one another. I bid you all peace and ask for peace in your hearts and your homes. If you are Catholic, say the sorrowful decades of the Rosary. If you're non-Catholic, come to me for comfort and grace. This is your mother, Mother Mary. I have a longer update from Diana, but I'm going to save that one, maybe post it, because I want to have times for everyone to do readings, Reiki, and fun stuff. This is supposed to be celebration, and that's a lot about war. But I appreciate all of you sending your prayers out on this call to end war, because even in groups, it's more powerful to send out these intentions than separately. So we know that. And I received word from John F. Kennedy recently on his opinion of things in America right now. And he's revealing a lot of top secret information about his death that everyone would like to know. So here it goes, folks. And it's very interesting because I didn't even know what he was referencing. Now I do, but I wouldn't have been prepared for it had I not been watching a lot of UFO disclosure on Gaia, and also just my innate sense of curiosity about world affairs and who's really running the show here in America, which is disturbing him. And he would like to see his, the essence of it is twofold. He would like to end certain nefarious activities of the CIA, but he would also like to end, he would like to see more freedom of speech and in terms of mainstream news covering his nephew's run for the presidency. So this is him speaking, not me. I don't hold this opinion. I'm just sharing it. So please don't shoot the messenger, as we say. But it was an honor to hear from the late JFK. And I know James and Bob also hear occasionally from him. It was an honor to hear your voice, Mr. President, the other day while I was driving to the chiropractor. Is there something you wish to say to the American people at this junction in time? My fellow Americans, this is JFK coming to you from the hallowed realms of perfection and truth, where I now reside. Your time is in many ways now similar to what was going on with my time in the 60s, with so many uncanny similarities, though they be. The world is facing similar threats. In my time, it was the Soviet Union, and your time it is Russia, the threat of destruction of the Ukrainian people. And there is also another moon launch with the possibility and agenda of actually colonizing the face of our moon. From what I understand, they have already done that, colonized the dark side of the moon he's referring to. in parentheses. I was investigating that when my sudden departure from this plane took place. You see, I was very committed to the rights and freedoms of all people, not just Americans, but those abroad who were being threatened by the United States military and their secret space force. At this time, it was all kept very top secret. But since the cat is out of the bag, so to speak, with the secret space program, I thought I would comment on that and these precarious times in which our nation is faced with so many complex issues coming forth. We are facing so many threats from abroad. I do feel we need a strong leader who can guide America to safer shores, as it were. There are many threats from both space and Russia, and now the conflict in the Middle East, which could have been solved decades ago with a proper peace plan in place. Your president, former President Bill Clinton, did a fine job of negotiating a peace plan in the Middle East, but it wasn't enough to convince Mr. Arafat at the time. As I understand it, both Sadat and the Israeli Prime Minister Yitzhak Rabin paid dearly for their lives for doing such a peace plan. I very much doubt that Mr. Netanyahu will be a likely partner in peace, and I would look to a broader perspective, perhaps the King of Jordan, President of Egypt or Qatar, and other moderate Arab nations for cooperation for the Palestinian state and the Palestinian Authority. It is our hope and prayer that Earths be spared a nuclear explosion, one that happened in Hiroshima at the end of the World War. Yet we stand on the brink of such lurking possibilities and nuclear annihilation. We all pray that it will not happen. And there are fine peacemakers running for president whose voices have been suppressed by the mainstream media. I'm referring, of course, to my nephew, Bobby Kennedy, and to Marianne Williamson, two fine candidates of the Democratic Party who would do well to let their voice and opinions get out on the mainstream media and give the American people more choices. There's no reason in a free democracy to silence these two fine individuals from the competition of the presidency, when in fact I stood for freedom of speech in this country for so long. I find that freedoms of speech got me into a lot of trouble, and I feel that freedoms of speech even is yet to be a heralded virtue in this fine nation and a right of the First Amendment. So we, as Americans, all fine Americans reading this message or hearing it, ask that more freedom of speech through pressure on the media and the Congress as we go forth. I do not see that either likely presumptive nominee would make a fit for the crisis in which we are facing, which is a total nuclear annihilation if we don't stand up to the powers that be. So he concludes on a more hopeful note. The so-called nuclear military industrial complex with the secret space program accompanying it are the words of warning, yes, but also comfort that America still holds the prize for freest country on this planet, and God save America. This is your 31st President, John F. Kennedy speaking from the beyond as I watch over with Saint Germain, Abraham Lincoln, and so many others that have preceded me in the sound of freedom. So I thought that was particularly powerful and interesting, really revealing some of the core issues that I think most of the public is barely aware of, So I think it's an interesting message and it merits consideration. So at this time, I'm not going to read Diana's longer message. I'll post it into the Circle of the Rose so you can contemplate all of that, because it's very complex diplomatic solutions for the Palestinian state. And she still feels that in essence, that they need their own state. They don't need to be moved down to the Sinai or just completely annihilated. So anyway, we'll call in again the angels of joy for the Christmas season, starting with Archangel Michael. And just breathe in deeply, unmute yourselves. And I want to thank all of you that were listening today on the YouTube. And I'm very happy that you tuned in. I am Marcia McMahon, and I've published a number of books, 5 in all, 2 with Princess Diana, 1 with John Lennon, 1 with Archangel Michael. And my most recent publication is Mary Magdalene Speaks. And they all make wonderful gifts for the holidays. And I wish all of you a blessed and happy and joyous holiday season. And I'm going to stop the recording here and encourage you to listen in again if you were listening through the YouTube, and join in and get on the mailing list. And you can see my email up there. So thank you again for joining us. Please like and subscribe. And now we're centering in and going into our Reiki and reading sessions for Christmas.
Legion on ever and ways, we proclaim